Commander.
That's
Welcome.
not fair. I was busy.
It's time to do some work. Let's get this on the show on the road.
It's hard drives. I was doing work. Okay. What are we doing?
We're talking about something important today, but we should probably introduce ourselves. I am the Capitan Foley.
And I am the made human because that was my greatest wish, Cockings.
Yes, and we are Trekyards, and we are here to talk today about the Picard Season 2 trailer, and specifically Q. Now, a lot of people have been up in arms about, why does Q look older? Is there an in-canon reason that Q looks older? Yeah, there is, and we're going to talk about that today.
Yeah, I'll be honest, of all the things in the trailer, because we like to look at tech and characters development and canon, when an almighty god being whose appearance is itself a fiction of his imagination and like to be whoever he wants to be, when he looks older than he did at another point in the timeline, I didn't even think of that as being an issue. So I've been absolutely amazed at people commenting. Very, very surprised. There's so many more things. Like, the Klingons were on Discovery Season 1. Hey, we can all agree on that. We can all agree with that. But remarkable. Because did you not watch the Star Treks? Like, he grew older. John Delancey didn't look the same. Brent Spiner didn't look the same. And we've got some graphics today, guys, to show that. But also to show another little mic drop. And then discuss in general if he can look older or younger. But this first picture is his first and his last appearance in Farpoint and in the Voyager one with his son.
And as you can see, he's aged. We don't see him very often, so you might not notice it, but the hairline's even different. Again, a little bit of a receding hairline. Even had it styled funny at the beginning. But yeah, he's one of these. He's omnipotent, so he can do whatever he wants, and he chooses to age his appearance based on the people around him that he's messing with. So
now he does look great in this compared, but he doesn't look like a fresh chicken anymore. Fresh spring chicken. He looked young in the original. He looks like a middle-aged guy in the other one. And that's fine. Next picture, though, compares him to Picard. And this is obviously, quite a lot later in the timeline and much later in the real life. Okay, I mean, he vibes a bit different. Certainly if they wanted to make him look younger, they could have just dyed his hair. That would have been an easy way of giving him a more youthful appearance.
But Samuel, he must be a Mirror Universe Q because he has a goatee. I've heard that argument, too.
Yes, because every single man in the Mirror Universe has a goatee. No, like 2 Vulcans do, and like maybe some...
Trust me, the goatee does not indicate Mirror Universe. Don't just ignore that completely.
Yours is pointed as well, which implies even more evil.
It's evil, yes.
So yes, he looks older. I think still looks very, very good. He just looks older. And though I think the white hair makes him look distinguished, I think it actually suits him quite well as a new look, because then it hangs a lantern on it slightly of, he is older, let's embrace that in a small way. If he dyed his hair black and whatever, he would be like, well, it looks the same but more wrinkly, etc.
Yeah, well, his dialogue in the trailer is, you're older than I expected, talking to Jean-Luc. And that's great, because I can see him like flashing in and being young, digitally de-aged, and then, I don't want to make you feel uncomfortable, and then he's going to be like this for the rest. That would be, if they were smart, they wouldn't miss that trick. They would definitely do that. Not convinced they're going to, but
yeah. It's an expensive trick to do that.
But it's worth it for Q. It's so worth it for Q.
Absolutely, for him to be in Voyager uniform, or even in First Contact uniform, just to kind of say like, he did talk to him between that, because there's no reason to say he didn't bump into him ever on the E. That'd be kind of a nice reference. Then he could sell another Q action figure. That's the irony. They could literally invent a product that could be sold for years by just having him in that uniform, etc. And then going from DH to whatever. But Stuart, and this is the mic drop I was saying earlier, that I only realised as I was getting these screen caps, there was another point when a Q went to see Picard, and he didn't look young. That was when Picard was old, and guess how Q looked when Picard was old. In All Good Things, Stuart, I don't remember anybody, I wasn't necessarily watching TV at that point, but who the hell said in All Good Things, but Q can't go old? Sorry, they did Q old when Picard was old 20 years ago. Why are people complaining? Look, they're both old in this, so when he meets him old, he looks old. That was the gag.
Samuel.
Yes.
Samuel.
Yeah.
Mic drop.
Yeah. Like, I was like, oh shit, I found this. Awesome.
No, that's great. It's a very good point too, and he looks a lot older here actually than he does in Picard, even though Picard looks better. But anyway, Q was overcompensating, pretending to be old, even though he's got the ear thing, the ear horn to be able to hear. So he's going for like a turn of the century kind of, yeah, exactly. But still, he definitely did that to mess with Jean-Luc. So it works perfectly, and I don't understand the problem that people are having with it. I really don't.
There's already canon precedent for this from one of the best TNG episodes. Now, I had forgotten about this because it's such a small moment in the episode. But yeah, if you cut to the next picture, here's them combined. Yes, Q looks younger now. I mean, younger, older, different sort of old. But he looks in better shape. Like, you know what I mean? How is there more of an argument when he did that once and he looks good and it just, you know... I mean, hey guys, do you want him to look like the next picture? I mean, he could look like this in the show. That's one of his true forms. But, you know... Or not.
Yeah. Yeah, so I just don't understand the problem. Now, I don't know if you want to talk about the brooch here. I just want to mention his brooch here.
His only other accoutrement, which means it's important.
Yeah, we were wondering if it tied into anything, and when we were doing our review, our live one, I'm like, that looks similar to the chain he wore as the judge. Turned out it's pretty much the same. And then, ironically, if you go back to the picture of how Q could look, there's like 7 stars or whatever around him. Like there's the same number of stars as there is in the brooch. And ironically, when they went to the planet in season 1 of Picard, isn't there a planet with like 7 suns around it? Wasn't that part of the storyline? That they were that planet that the Zhat Vash went to. Anyway,
many things, yes, many planets.
So I don't know if there's a tie in there because it's the same number of stars. It's how Q really kind of could look. It's the same number on the brooch. There's a cool little tie in there.
So Q's linked to the sentient AI that are from another part of the universe.
Well, no, just the planet.
But that's where the people who evolved left the signal to tell people. So if that's the planet, then his people left the signal.
Well, they evolved, yeah. So he left the signal.
Well, one of them.
If they do that kind of tie-in, I'd be like, oh my god, please don't do that. I just wanted to point it out because it's kind of been nagging at me a little bit, and it might be worth a separate discussion on its own.
But I appreciate the attention to detail there because it's so nothing, and yet click, there it is. And as we've said before, he mimics Jean-Luc and even the other officers. You know, he meets Janeway, etc. He's in her uniform, whatever. Although when he's in the bubble bath with her, he's not naked, so he doesn't always mimic. That was more of a censoring issue at the time. But he still is keeping this formality of the thing. So that's definitely going to play into it. Like he might even be being sent by the Q Continuum to help fix the timeline, and so that's his representative of I've still got the power of the judge, potentially, etc., etc. But briefly, because I spent like half an hour doing this, just so we can all see the evolution of Q. Just go through all the different. I'm not going to name the episodes because I'm not remembering them all. But it starts with TNG. And you can see the haircuts of Delancey change quite a bit.
Down to up to yeah.
And he sort of bounces out. I'm sure each haircut is dependent on what other shows he's filming at the time. Because they're a little bit consistent and then inconsistent. And then he's in DS9 for the first season, DS9. And then he's back in Tapestry. And then he's in All Good Things in the original version. And then he's 3 times in Voyager where he looks pretty much the same. But he looks old. Although in one of the parts of Voyager he has purple lipstick.
I didn't like that look. They kind of went for something weird there, and it didn't work for me.
But it isn't in every shot because these are from those episodes. One of them, and I don't understand why. It's weird.
I'm actually surprised you don't have the picture of him with the tattoo here. Like, why would Q have a tattoo? Because he can. Mine's bigger. So to say why is he old or aged, it's obvious. He's omnipotent. He can do whatever the hell he wants.
Yeah, it's just a non-question. Why does Picard look older? Because time passed. Why does Data look older? Because he changed his subroutines to create more wrinkles. Boom, there's the answer. And then why is Q older? He isn't. He's just looking older. So, yeah, but there you go, guys. Mic drop. He did it already. Delancey did age, and he's aged very well. And I like they went slightly different look for him. I mean, it would be nice if they do, even if they just do dyed his hair black, so he's got this look, but looks younger. Because it'd be hard to do digital, because to do the whole shaved face look would be like Henry Cavill in Justice League, CGI face, very expensive, CGI mouth, so it's not worth it. So maybe they'll do because you can do spray dye, which looks still quite good, especially expensive type. So maybe they might do a spray dye, do black hair, then de-age for a green screen moment in the same set, and then.
They don't even really need to do that. With some clever editing, like you can have Trekyard in the foreground, him in the background, out of focus, flashes in. You see like somebody that looks very similar to him as a younger man. Then you see the flash, and then it change your camera angle.
Sure. Well, then you don't even need to de-age. Yeah. I mean, sure, that'd be fine. It would be enough, I guess.
Because all you need is that voice, like Mon Capitan. Oh, you're older than I expected, and then flash.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there we go. We saved you guys a lot of money by giving the cheap approach. That's literally tens of thousands of dollars we just saved them there, Stuart. Well done. Star Trek, don't say we don't do anything for you.
Hire Trekyards as consultants. We can definitely help you guys out. Anyway, that being said, we are not all powerful, or are we? But we are powerful enough to say, please click that like button. We'd really appreciate it. Subscribe to the channel, join our continuum, if you will, and make sure you get notified every time we upload. We like to do breakdown videos like this all the time. And leave your comments down below. What did you think about Q? Does it bother you that he's older? Or you don't care, you didn't notice, doesn't matter to you, or it just makes sense because he's omnipotent? Let us know in the comment section down below.
And those are good discussions. But have the same discussions on live with us during many of our episode 1, 2, 3, discussions we're going to have on the actual episodes. Then you can super chat and POV directly to us. That's really, really fun and important to us because it helps the show run and helps us keep going to make even more videos. And boy, so many shows, so many videos, it's going to happen. Don't need to be a Q to see into the future to know that's going to happen, because it is. And Patreon, join the channel, PayPal, all the good ways, and Teespring and all those different tees, t-shirt things, and just support us down below, etc.
Should I end the episode now, Commander?
Sure. Yeah, I guess I'm ready to go back to what I was doing before.
Yeah, you won't even know this happened. It's fine.
Oh, it's a Riker maneuver where you steal Riker.
Yeah.
And okay.
Yeah. So he's Commander Calkins.
He's not Captain Foley, potentially.
I've always been Captain Foley, but you just never knew I was omnipotent till now. Bye, guys.